In this video, I'm going to show you how to start your webinar that you just set up. Now, to get started, you have a few buttons in here. So if you like to modify or edit your current webinar, you can do that by clicking this pencil option in here. But to get started with your webinar, you can join your room here. Now, keep in mind that when you've set up your webinar registration page, that your webinar will go live once this timer hits 0. If the timer does not hit 0, your attendees will not see your webinar. So you can go into your webinar room and you can prepare some things. So let's assume that this webinar now is live, that the timer hits 0 and you are in your webinar room. So what you need to do is you need to join your webinar room, and this will open a new window for you. Now on this window, it will take a little while to load your webinar room. And there it is. So the first thing that Webinarflow is going to ask you is to connect your microphone. So if you want to do listen only, I don't think you're going to run webinars with listen only. So we're going to connect our microphone. So I'm going to click this one. And now here at the left side, you will notice that it asks live.webinarflow.io wants to use your microphone. This is very important that you allow Webinarflow to use your microphone. Otherwise, you will not be able to run webinars. So click on this allow button to allow your microphone. Now, as you can see here, it says this is a private echo test. Speak a few words. Did you hear the audio? I'm not sure if you are already hearing the echo, but when I do so and I put on my audio, you can hear there is an echo. So I'm going to say yes. My audio is correct, and now I can start doing webinars with my microphone. Now then, the next important thing is if you like to add your webcam, you can do that as well. So when you go to the bottom here, you can see here that our microphone is activated. We can also mute this by clicking on mute, and we can unmute this as well. Now, if you'd like to run a webcam as well, you can do that also by clicking this webcam option. So when I select this webcam, you can see that it automatically asks the same thing. Live.webinarflow.io wants to use your camera. So you need to click on allow to allow your webinar software to use your camera. And once we've done that, you can see here, this is me. You can see that we can select our camera. So if you have multiple cameras in here, you can select which camera you would like to use. In this case, I would like to use my cam link. So I'm going to select this camera and I'm going to select the quality. So you could do medium quality, high quality, of high definition quality. You can decide whatever you like to use. So let's say I want to use high quality. I'm going to use this. Now, you're also able to do a virtual background, and this will create a virtual background for you. So this can blur your background, as you can see. I don't know if you can see it here. Let me try to zoom in. Yeah. So now you can see my background is being blurred automatically, and you can do that. You also have the option here to add a virtual background that are being added to Webinarflow. So when you click this virtual background, you can see here, it's not really working. You see those, not sure how to name these things in the background, but it's trying to filter out the background. And if you have a green background screen, this will work a lot better. And you can change also to a coffee shop, for example. You can change that as well. So you can see my background has been changed. Personally, I don't like this. I like my own background that I have here. So I'm going to keep this one for the webinar. So once you're ready, click on start sharing. And now my webinar or my camera has been added to the webinar, and I can start doing my webinar. Now, like I said, nobody will see that you're live until the timer hits 0. So now you can play around with the webinar software. In other videos, I'm going to show you, in my next video, I'm going to show you how you can add a presentation to your webinar software. But basically, when the timer hits 0, you can start your webinar, or the webinar starts automatically. And then also you're able to record your webinar here. You can click on start recording. And once you're finished here, you can click here, these 3 dots. You can say, I'm going to end the meeting. So you're leaving the meeting. If you don't want to run the webinar, so let's say we are 2 hours early, you click on Leave Meeting so that you can rejoin the webinar at a later point when the webinar goes live. If you click on End Meeting, then also the webinar will be ended. So you only click on End Meeting once the webinar has finished. So when we go live and we finish the webinar, then we click on End Meeting. Otherwise, you click on Leave Meeting, and now you have logged out from your webinar. You're going to click OK, and you will be forwarded to the dashboard. The difference with End Meeting is that the End Meeting will show you these stats here, that there were 2 registrants and 1 attendee. So you only want to do that when you finish your webinar. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you how you can add presentations to your webinar.